Okay, so who's taller? You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. It's funny every time.
It looks, I don't know.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hello, what's up? Hello.
Check, 1, 2, skip a few.
I skipped a few. Okay, welcome to the 98% podcast where we hear real stories from real people. And I'm here with Joe Lendway. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from St. Paul, Minnesota. Grew up there. Was there till about my freshman year. And then my family side moved to Kansas. And that was a great decision. Moved for basketball and my mom's job. Went to high school in Lansing, Kansas, and then got to get a basketball scholarship to Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And then I furthered my basketball career at a D2 school in Alaska. So, and then I'm just doing life now. So
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
Yeah, and how do you know me?
Well, relates back to Nike, the swoosh days.
Yeah.
First retail job I've ever had, and worked there for about three some years, on and off because of school. But.
Yeah. I remember always being in the break room hearing you tell some real fun stories. That's like one of the moments I remember. I remember always walking in and you'd be talking, I'd just be like, okay, I gotta listen to this. What's he gonna say today? And it was good. So yeah. So what are some of those funny stories?
Well, we had a basketball game and we dressed up like, trying to be all like NBA, dressed up, walking in. And in Alaska, there's like a lot of snow, and there's just kind of snow plowed one way to the apartments, the gym, parking lot.
Yeah.
Walking, and there's a moose just chilling, and it took off and charged me, and like ran in the building, stood in front of the window, just did not move. Finally walked away. I go to the game. My coach is mad, like yelling at me because I was late. Tried telling him a story that a moose definitely almost got me. He didn't believe me. And as we're warming up, the announcer for our games is like, a student was just trampled outside by a moose. I looked right at my coach. I was like, I told you. So I didn't get in trouble for that one. That was good. But I felt bad for the kid that got trampled, and
Yeah.
they had to put the moose to sleep and fly him out somewhere.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, it's funny. It's weird how dangerous like moose are too. Like I never thought about that growing up. You hear about like moose attacks and random stuff. Like it's weird.
National Geographic did a terrible job of explaining those things because they look not that bad.
Exactly.
They are huge. They have little legs. They look awkward, but they are dangerous. They attack vehicles.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I remember seeing a video of a guy. I guess it was around mating time or something, and he was out in the woods, which I heard is like the most dangerous time to hang out with moose.
Yep, well, for sure.
And I saw this guy get chased into a tree. I was like, dang. I was like, luckily he climbed that tree fast enough. And I was like, that'd be nuts. Can you imagine just chilling at a tree, hoping the moose goes away?
And who knows if they go away?
Exactly.
They could be. They don't have anything to do. They don't have a job to go to.
Exactly.
They're just chilling.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, they're dangerous and they're crazy with their calves and all that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mean.
It's funny. So what was it like living in Alaska?
It was nuts, man. Like the whole 6 months of darkness is for real. Like the sun would come up at 10 a.m. and set at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm up at 6 o'clock doing basketball workouts, practice, and then we have to go to class and or breakfast, class, then back to practice. And just you see the sun for a little bit. I bought a vitamin D lamp. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know.
Vitamin D lamp. Sweet.
Yeah, I'm still around, so I guess it works.
I guess, yeah. How'd you get acclimated to that?
No idea. That whole couple years of college was just nuts.
Yeah.
We went from negative 56 degrees for 2 weeks, and then we played a tournament in Hawaii, and where it was like 90. getting off the plane, we were soaked.
Yeah.
It was not in our favor to go there. Like complete polar opposite environments, everything.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you had 6 months of darkness. So does that mean you had a ton of light too at some points?
Yeah, there was like during our finals in, was that May? Around May, the sun like set at like 10 o'clock at night. So it was just
So it's just sunny all the time.
Parties would be going till like 3 or 4, and it's like this outside.
Yeah. Dang. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay. So how this is going to work, Joe, by the way, so I have a series of questions. I sent them to you in advance.
Yep.
We're just going to go through and we're just gonna answer them, and hopefully, the audience can connect to, your story and stuff like that.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. So what was growing up like for you?
Confusing. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I grew up with my mom, single mom, and she got together with my stepdad when I was like 4, and they're 2 white parents, and I was a lot darker, and it caused questions at school. People asked me why both my parents are white, and I didn't know how to explain it. So it was just a weird thing. All family photos, I was always the kid in the back, just who's that guy? Just didn't really.
Okay.
But somewhere along the line, we did look similar, but definitely interesting. I was like 5'9" till about freshman year. Still had a little fro and weird body weight. And then I don't know what happened. I shot up to about 6'5" senior year. My legs hurt for a long time. And then now I'm 6'7" and just doing stuff.
Dang, that's crazy. So what got you into basketball then? I assume height, or is that just something you're passionate about before that?
I played all sports growing up, and I did play hockey a little bit, but I had to make a choice between basketball and hockey. And at the time, basketball was just some shoes, and I'll be all right. Hockey was sticks, skates, mouth guard, everything. So basketball was more the route for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What other stuff were you into when you were a kid?
I was into cars for a little bit, building stuff. Definitely fishing, doing all outdoors kind of things. I had a attention span of a squirrel though. Like I would do something and then just do something else. Like set up the trampoline and then set up a pool. Just I don't know. I was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think I was undiagnosed. If you get what I'm saying.
ADHD?
Something
like that?
Something on the spectrum. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you mentioning something. Did you say you auditioned for a? You tell us about that.
I auditioned for a show on Disney Channel.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
It was the Disney Channel show Shake It Up Chicago. It was one with Zendaya in it. It was a dancing one. Thought I had a chance. And as you can tell, I'm still here, so it didn't work out.
Dang. Well, what was that process like? Did you actually audition?
Like I submitted a video and email and pictures and stuff, but didn't make the cut.
Dang. Man, you could have been a Disney star. Would have been awesome.
If Disney's out there, you missed out. You missed out.
You missed out. Okay, cool. So growing up, so you were always into sports. Your parents, you said you seemed a little out of place compared to your parents for the most part.
Yeah.
Yep. So how about as you transitioned to say like college and stuff? What was that like?
It was interesting. Like starting to be part of I started understanding being part of a brotherhood. Like basketball really got close and like lifetime friends. And I like chose Alaska because I wanted to get the furthest away from my family so I can like try to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Because I did go to college 20 minutes away from my mom's house. It was cool to go there and do laundry and get groceries. I'm not going to lie to you. But I wanted to feel like what life is like. So I went to Alaska.
Yeah.
And just adapting out there in like a crazy climate and world. that was the best way to go.
Would you recommend Alaska to people out there?
Yes, for the views. Definitely the fishing if you're into outdoors. Anything, great. I just kind of was only there for the dark months and a little bit for the summertime because I had to go back home. So I'm gonna make a trip up there and visit there in the summertime just so I can try it out.
Nice. I need to go sometime. That'd be awesome.
I definitely recommend going one time in the summertime, one time in the winter, so you can see the northern lights and then enjoy like the one day of 24 hours of light. It's nuts.
That'd be sweet.
They have like softball tournaments going all day. Just everybody just.
So everybody plans for that day.
Yeah, like it's a day.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like, is it the same day every year too, or does it adjust?
I think it might adjust. I'm not sure though.
I'm just curious. It'd be weird if it was on the same day. I feel like it would adjust, but maybe not. I don't know. That's wild.
That's a good question.
I can imagine
making someone knows the answer.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure people do. I'm just not an expert on anything Alaska.
I did one solar project in middle school, and that was it. So,
that's it. Okay. Yeah. We'll have to Google that.
Definitely.
So, okay. So growing up, so what's been the biggest struggle that you made it through?
Biggest struggle. I would say when I tore cartilage in my knee, and like my senior year was kind of done, and then I had to get surgery, and then I had to like recover from that and try to figure out life that's not basketball because I did that for 20 years, and then you don't really learn life stuff. I mean, you do, but you don't learn like how things work in the real world, like loans, interest rates, all that stuff. Like kind of figured out on my own, or like help from family that haven't been down that road.
Yeah. So
I'd say that was big.
So how did it happen?
It was at a practice, and we were running fives. And I went to go seal this guy, and my foot was on top of his, and then like he pulled it out from under me, and my knee like just kind of went in, and it felt funny. And we ran after practice. It just felt like I just hit my knee.
Yeah.
So played it off. Went home. We got to take a little nap, and we came back for shoot around. And somebody passed me a ball, and I tried to do a regular jump shot. I couldn't jump.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And then it was on the weekend, so I didn't really want to call my trainer because that's the time he has with his family, his daughter, and all that. So I waited till Monday, and my knee was like swollen. And the doctor said that I tore my ACL. And I was like, oh God, great. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like it was just after the practice after winter break, so it was all that running we did to get back into shape to play, and then I just knee. So I kind of got a second opinion from a doctor here that works on a lot of knees. I went to the one that works with the Chiefs and Royals players, and he said it was just a cartilage. So your knee's like this, and I tore the cartilage out of here, so it was like my knee was kind of hitting each other.
Got it, yeah.
So they took a cadaver, which is someone else's bone and cartilage, and put it into mine, and it grew together.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, and I'm not 100% me anymore, so it's crazy.
Yeah, that's weird to think about. Yeah, you're like 99.9% you.
Whatever, yeah. And the weird part is when I was doing the recovery, I read this book. I forgot the name of it. But the same kind of thing happened to the guy, but it was from a bone from an old ex-spy or something like that. And as it formed together, like, he started noticing like he could do like karate or like just
no way
doing weird stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I was hoping I got something cool, but it just I don't know. It worked.
You have one overdeveloped knee.
Yeah. I'm a kickball champ.
Kickball champ. Dude, that's wild. I've never heard that. That'd be crazy.
But I mean, it could be a thing. I don't know. Like that would break down science and a lot of stuff.
Dude, well, kind of. I mean, if you think about it, like what makes you, and if it's like also like parts of your body, like bones, and I don't know. That's weird. I've never thought about that. It'd be weird to think just to have like, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on up here, Ricky.
I do the same thing. That's why when you brought it up, I was like, dude, I haven't went down that path. Let's ponder this.
Yeah. No, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, I do the same. That's funny. So you got injured, and then I'm sure, and it sounded like it kind of flipped your world upside down because you were so used to basketball and performing, then all of a sudden you had to find, I would assume, purpose and meaning in something else. Was that fair to
Right,
say?
right. Yeah, and I was going to school for law enforcement at the time.
Yeah.
And to like kind of have that happen, a physically demanding job, and just I was always scared to go underneath the knife, because once you get kind of cut, who knows? Like it could come back normal, but you might just be a little different.
Yeah.
So, and I waited to get surgery because I didn't want to do it at school and have like not the burden of my roommates to help me out.
Yeah.
But like I waited till I went home so my mom could help me out. So shout out to my mom for sure. Yeah, that was a good recovery choice. And the time I was at school, I decided just to work out legs like 4 or 5 times a day, just because once I get surgery and I can't move my leg for a while, it's just gonna lose all the muscle.
Yeah.
So I tried just overdoing it so it could at least somewhat be balanced when I was recovered.
Makes sense. And then how long did it take you to recover?
9 months, and I had to be on crutches for a few weeks. And the doctor told me, he's like, you're a big ass dude. If you put weight on that, it's gonna crush it. So the amount of time that I had to stand on one leg and just hold it, or the smallest puddle with the crush, just did like the splits, and I caught myself. Man, it was a solid couple weeks.
Dang. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
So your one leg got real strong then, huh?
Yep, and then the road to make this one somewhat the same. It was like learning to walk again.
Oh,
because even walking was weird.
Yeah.
I had to step up on a step like I was a toddler. It just didn't. I'm a 6'7" dude, like college basketball athlete.
Yeah.
I jump over these things. What is this? So it was nuts. And I'm working out with older people because a lot of older people are in there. And they're all looking at me, and I'm just doing what they're doing. And I'm sitting there going, I'm 20-some years old. This sucks. But it was a process of doing it. And that's like what I had to do to get back.
Exactly, yeah.
To being functional. Yeah.
So do you still hoop?
I haven't in a while, man. I've just been working out. I kind of used to find a spot where there's a lot of good runs, and then I just kind of stopped going. And then one time I went back, nobody was there, so I just been working out, trying to go down that road.
Yeah, no sense in it if you're, to a certain extent, if you don't want to get injured again, and if you're not really passionate about it either.
I mean, I'll play, but I'm not going 100%. Like I'll rebound the hell out of the ball, pass it. You score it. I'll just
you just use your tallness.
Yeah.
Pass me the ball by the hoop.
The ex-college athlete that can hoop, but just
there you go.
I'm good.
Yeah, you don't need to try. Yeah, there you go.
I laced them up, but they're hung up over here, kind of thing.
Okay, so what's something you're currently going through? That's I mean, it could be positive or negative or whatever.
Well, I keep telling myself I'm trying to start my security business. I just need to make that step and doing that, like getting an LLC. I keep saying it, but now that I have a job where I can put some money aside to put towards that, like it's the thing I'm trying to figure out right now.
Okay, gotcha. So, for those that don't know, you did security for a while, right? Is that where you got? A
couple years.
Yeah. So you want to tell them a little bit about how that went for you, and then what kind of got you excited about wanting to do your own security business?
Yeah. Well, how I got started into it is I decided to go to one coworker's party for his birthday, and we decided to go to a club in downtown Minneapolis. We walked in to go check it out, see if it was, it was popping, it was cool, whatever. Walking there was dead. Nobody was in there. So we're kind of sitting around, and all of a sudden 2 security guys walk right up, like pretty close to us. I thought we were in a VIP section or something. And he just looked me up and down and asked me if I've ever done security before. And I was like, no. I've always wanted to. And he's like, do you want a job? I said sure, jokingly.
Yeah.
I got the manager's number, texted me, got the owner texted me as I'm in the club with my friends. I started work there the next weekend.
Nice.
Did that for a while, moved around, got to do some different clubs, and then I got to do some, got in the doorway of doing private kind of personal security stuff, personal security route. I got to do security for Waka Flocka, Polo G, Sleazy World Go, Glorilla, a few people. So it was nice. It was fun, and that stuff I like to people watch, and to get paid to do it. Cool.
Yeah,
it's a win-win for me.
Okay.
So I don't know. Once I got in that doorway of doing personal stuff, getting on the club scene was a good way to start and figure out kind of how things work, how to talk to people, how to deal with people, especially drunk people, how to handle them, and then getting to that actual bodyguarding and just the people you meet, and you never know who's gonna call you to do something. Like I got a phone call, get on an airplane, I flew, and I just went.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I'm not very versed in what's popular, by the way. So
Right.
I don't know who those people are, but they sound famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool though. So is that what you like about it then? Being able to, I mean, you said you like to people watch, but I mean, is that kind of like the passion behind it? I guess what is that the passion behind it? I guess.
Okay, so I thought about this a while.
Yeah.
The real reason is because like my entire life, I've never like been able to sneak into a room. Like I walk into a room, everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
Private security, personal stuff. There's famous people. Nobody knows I'm there. Nobody cares that I'm there.
Okay.
I'm like a fly on the wall, finally. Like no one pays attention to me, nothing.
Yeah.
They're worried about this person, and I'm right behind them. It's nice.
Interesting.
Nice to be not seen.
Yeah. That's like the opposite of what most people want.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that makes sense though, I guess, because I mean, I assume being 6'7", people are probably always looking at you and paying attention to you. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Say probably okay.
Yeah.
So then
I walk through that door,
and then everybody's looking.
Yes.
Yeah. But then what's funny is then so you actually want the opposite, right? Whereas most people are like, I just want to be seen. That's really interesting. I never thought about that dynamic.
I'm that guy that I want to make it to disappear kind of thing. Like, do what I have to do, get some land, and just keep it like that. If somebody needs me, I'll fly out. I'll do whatever. But that's the goal in life right there. It's just kind of work my way to have a family set up and just kind of find some land and just off the grid almost.
It's awesome. That's how my parents are. They live in like this Barnett, like this small town, Missouri, just out on some land, and they love it. I don't know if I could do that. I think I'd like both. I think I'd like to have some land, but still be close enough to a city to at least be able to go to some places.
And I was thinking like Minnesota because there's a bunch of lakes, some cabin land or something like that. Because where we live, everything's maybe 20 minutes away, but it's worth it.
See, that's nice. Yep, that'd be worth it. Yeah, I like going to Minnesota. I used to go to Minnesota frequently too. It's a pretty place. Although it's cold for like 9 months.
Give or take, But and I lived in Alaska, so
you're used to it. You're used to it.
Chilling.
But yeah, but I've always been curious why people live why people enjoy living there to a certain extent, because it seems like people do, and it's very populated. But it's like the 3 months that are beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I've always been always wondered, because most people I talk to here like they hate the cold. So I don't know.
I think it's everyone's the Midwest friendly. Everybody's really nice up there. You got the summertime, you have cabins, but there's also there's hockey, there's all sorts of winter stuff you can do.
Yeah. Yeah,
the snow sucks, but I mean, it's not too bad. We don't have hurricanes. We don't.
True.
Maybe a tornado, but it's Midwest. It is what it is.
For sure. Yeah, you guys get used to it too. So I've been there when it snowed pretty good too, and it's like because it's so normal, like
Right.
the snowplow. I mean, they got it. Roads are almost always clear. It seems like
Yeah, they put a lot of money into that, which
they should.
right. It's a necessity.
Dude, it's crazy. Some places don't. When I lived in Branson, the worst. Like, cause well, what happened is like it doesn't snow often there, so obviously the snow team isn't there, right? But there was one time we had a surprise snow that they weren't planning on getting,
Right.
and you would have swore that it was like the apocalypse, and it was the coolest thing to witness. So me and a buddy, this is when I first started at Nike. Me and a buddy were like, hey, we've been talking about grabbing lunch together, and it's a slow day. You want to grab lunch? Let's go. So we went and grabbed lunch, and it was like just a little flurry. We're like, I didn't know it was supposed to snow today. Like nothing big. We go out, we eat, we come out of the restaurant, we realize like, oh snap, there's like 2 inches now. Like that's pretty crazy. So we hop in the car and we're getting ready to head back, and there's like lines of cars. Nobody's going anywhere, right? So we call the store. We're like, hey, we're gonna be late coming back from lunch, just because there's traffic. And he's like, okay, we'll just see if you can get back. And then no cars moved. And then they ended up calling us back and like, hey, we're closing down the store, so you guys are obviously good to go. We'll clock you out or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. So the thing is though, I'm talking 2 inches of snow, but because it was a surprise, because it was like on a Sunday morning. So think about like church people. It's also older demographic, dude. It was crazy. So we're like, okay, I guess we're walking. So we walked 6 miles to our place because we lived right next to each other. We were neighbors, so we left the car there and we walked. And actually, I had a great time. I enjoyed it. We walked. We stopped halfway, got a coffee. We were helping people push their cars. It was like the wildest thing. There were people out of their cars, like navigating people, and like I'm like, dude, it's 2 inches. And there was one part where we stopped at this gas station, and there's this hill because there's hills in Branson. That's what makes it
Right.
bad because people don't know how to drive in it. But we would just watch these cars over and over. And there was one they'd go down this hill, and then all of a sudden the car would slide off into the side. Another car would come, and they'd try it again, slide off, and it became this thing where like we're talking to this person like, how long have people been doing that? And it's like gas station, like, yeah, there's like 13 cars built up over there. People just keep trying. They just keep sliding into the thing. We're like, cool. But it was just one of those things. Like, it's funny how like 2 inches of snow wrecked that city for that day, which I had fun though, but wrecked it.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah, you can get like a foot of snow in Minnesota and they got it covered. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I don't understand is, as long as you lived in Minnesota, why do you have a two-wheel vehicle or something? That's the
Yes.
part I don't get. I mean,
Yeah.
have your cars that are your toys, whatever, but you know what's coming 6 months. Just snow.
Yeah. Two-wheel, rear-wheel drive car or something
I can't
random.
get to
Like,
work.
what are
I'm
you doing?
stuck. You know where you live. It's not we're in Alabama and there's that one
Yeah.
inch of snow and everybody's AWOL.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Well, next question. So, who is someone who has changed your life that doesn't know it?
That's a good one. I would say my junior college basketball coach, Kelly Newton.
Okay.
That guy pushed me to the ends.
Okay.
I've never ran that much my entire life, and I'm talking we ran time miles, and I had to make mine in 6 minutes and like under 6:20 or 6:30. I ran that in 6:20. That is the fastest I've ever ran in my entire life. Thought I was dying. And the crazy part is his preconditioning. We had to do a time mile, which I ran that in 6:20.
Mhm.
We had to go in the gym. We had to run 3 suicides that were timed.
Mhm.
You know, suicides.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Actually played basketball for a while.
I just want to make sure because some people I don't know.
So, yeah, I get it.
3 sideline nines, which is 9 touches sideways, and then these. Whoever came up with them needs to go to jail. He called them NBA shuttles. And
Okay.
you start from the baseline, opposite free throw line, back, full court, back.
Okay.
And you had to do 3 of those for it to count, like as one. I mean, you had to do 3 sets of those. Just running. And then after I ran that mile, ran all that. Just Oh man! Every time I drive by that place, I see that track. I just shake my head at that place. But I thankful for it, appreciated it, needed it.
Yeah.
But man, that was running. Never got that runner's high. Don't know who. No.
I don't think you get runner's high from doing down and backs. I think it's more of a distance thing.
Well, man, I went the distance, so I thought it was going. Yeah.
Waiting for that high, and you're just like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I went home and just like completely. I don't even think I laid on my floor. It's just what happened. I just confused.
Dude, it's funny, and isn't it funny how like those things, like in the moment, they seem like the worst thing, and you're like, why am I doing this? And then hindsight, right? When you get older, you look back and are like, those are some of the most important moments in my life for the fact that they helped kind of fine tune me, strengthen me, equip me, and get me ready for, I guess, challenges.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what he was always preaching, that you never know like who you're gonna work with, or that's the basketball. All walks of life come together. You got guys. I had guys from Chicago. I had guys from California. I had all over the place, different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, and all to come together and work together, hang out, figure out how to be on the same page on and off the court, and then being able to execute it against a whole nother program that did the same thing that you did. And it's insane.
It's cool to think about. That's why I think people need to do sports, whether they agree with it or not. I think it's one of those things that, like, because I have my gripes with sports. Like, I think doing everything for the win, I don't think is necessarily the best plan. But I get that I get it at the same time. But I think, to your point, I think what other thing can you do that brings a bunch of different people together, helps you work as a team, and helps you focus on a common goal like that? Like, literally, sports prepares you for the world probably like nothing else, right?
Yeah. The things I learned about life, you can't read that in a textbook. I mean, there's probably a book out there, but to live it and actually stop and think, be outside looking in instead of being inside looking out, changes everything. Learning what people's strengths are and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Like, our coach made us like figure out everything about this person. We all had to sit in the front row of class. He did not play about that. Grade checks, everything. Just yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Just strength. But it made me who I am today and all my other friends. Yeah. So it's like what you said, it sucked in the beginning, but as I got older, I understood why he did that, and I appreciate it. It makes sense. I'm not mad about it anymore. I'm like, that makes no sense. Yeah. Sit there, I stop, think about it. I'm like, he's right. He's right. It's all good.
I like that. See, it's funny that you shared that too, because I think someone, and I've shared this before, I think, on the podcast, but like, one of the people I think that impacted me the most was actually one of my coaches from back in junior high and high school. So what happened is, his name was Coach Phillips, but like he was there for junior high, and what I liked about him is what I learned is that he wasn't necessarily about the win. What he was about like investing in each individual person and what they needed to be successful, essentially.
Right.
Which is ideal, right? Because and that was probably the only coach that I ever had that I actually liked the way he coached. Because a lot of times, you've probably been part of it, where coaches are just yelling, they're just trying to they're demanding you to do things, but there's never any why. They don't really care about you, and I'm not motivated by people yelling at me. You might be, and some people might, but like when people do that, it actually makes me shut down. Like, well, I don't like that. You know what I mean? So, but what he did a good job of is I felt really valued, and I think that was important. So I remember being in junior high, and this was when we first started track. He's like, you want to do track? And I was like, yes, I want to do track. What do you want to do in track? I don't know. I've never done track before. Right? He's like, you look like you could jump. And I was like, yep, probably. And he's like, you look like you could probably leap over things too, like maybe hurdles. And I was like, probably. Okay. And then one day in the middle of class, he's just like, hey, can I have Ricky borrow Ricky from class? And they're like, sure. So I got in class, and he has a hurdle set up in the middle of the hallway. He's like, hey, I want you to jump over this for me real quick. Okay. And granted, this isn't like anybody I suck out. Like he was like he actually sought me out, right?
Right.
And yeah, so I jumped over the hurdle and they say, okay, you're gonna be doing hurdles, and I was like, sweet, sounds good to me.
Right.
And yeah, ever since then, like I just remember like him pulling me in the office and just chatting with me about like about jumping and just like hurdles. But I don't know, I loved it, and I thought it was really cool how I felt valued and just invested in. Also, like I was given free reign to also help my peers and stuff like that as well. So
Right.
it was cool because that's something I didn't witness before, and a lot of people don't know this, but especially in sports, I was a very reserved sports player. Like I kept to myself, and all I wanted to do is I just wanted to perform. I didn't want any drama, no extra. I just wanted to be there to perform. So for him to take interest in me, I thought that was huge, and yeah, great coach.
Yeah.
So
no, I feel that kind of now that you said that. I met him at a gym. He was there for other people. Like he was scouting other people.
Yeah.
I was just there because I got the text to come
Yeah.
hoop. So I did. And he talked to me after. And he talked to the guys that he was there for, and then talked to me after. I didn't think I was going to play college basketball. I thought I was just high school and done.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Coach makes a difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah. for sure.
Okay. So what's a skill or talent that you'd like to share with the audience?
Skill or talent? Any Disney movie. Disney trivia.
Yeah.
Nasty with it. I don't know what it is. I think I just when I was younger I watched a bunch of them and just memorized it. I don't know what. I can hear a song and tell you what movie it's from.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
I can also blow bubbles. I had a lot of time in detention.
Wait, blow bubbles like you mean like without the okay. Oh, look at that.
Like that. Yeah, and then I spent a lot of time in detention in middle school, so I had a lot of time to think and figure stuff out.
So you just got good at a lot of random stuff.
Random stuff, yeah.
I was the same way.
A lot of party tricks.
Yeah, I never went to parties, so I didn't learn party tricks, but I learned a bunch of random stuff.
Well, yeah. I use them whenever I go to places.
There you go.
Saved them. Put them in the back pocket.
There you go. That's good. What's some other ones you got?
I don't know. There's a bunch, dude. I don't think they're talents, but people make them out to be. People just say I'm funny. That's all I can vouch for, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I always like doing that stuff.
Talent is shenanigans for me.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know this. When I first started with Nike, like I was I was interesting, I'll put it that way. So when I first started, I was doing a lot of that stuff. Was like I wanted to have fun because the store I worked at was not fun. So I was like, we gotta have fun. So I remember just doing a bunch of random stuff. Just like I had like Ricky's challenges, and it was just like random stuff I found out that I could do.
Yeah.
And I would like, okay, so we have level 1, 2, 3, 4, and if people would get past the levels, you'd have to do like 3 different exercises, 3 different things, and they would increasingly get more difficult. And then, if they'd get to I think the furthest we had anybody go, I think was like 4 or something like that. And it was like a big deal. It was like limbo the stanchions at the front register. That was one of them.
Yeah.
We like do like certain pull-ups. You had to jump rope your leg, which was fun. I don't know. I'm sure I could still do it, but just random stuff that I used to do for fun.
Ground.
Dude, we had people fall before.
Yeah, 100%. People think they can do it until it's like, see how hand-eye coordinated you are.
It was so fun though. But yeah, that was the fun I had back then. But yeah, it was just random stuff, just entertain people, have fun, work. That was my thing.
One of the times I'll never forget it. Nobody was in the break room. I'm walking, I see the door open, and you're sitting on your computer chair, but like a bird. And you're just like and you turn around like this and look at me. I have Chipotle. I'm just, what the hell did I just walk into? I never knew what I was going to look at when I walked by the office.
Was I like perched up on my chair?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a comfortable pose for me.
Yeah, and then you were like, it just, don't know how to explain it. But
Okay, hold on. So here, let me reenact it. So are you saying like I was sitting like this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, like that on a laptop.
On the laptop, yeah.
Computer chair, just.
Dude, I don't know why. This is like the most comfortable pose for me.
But also, you were in a room with mannequins, so it was a weird place to be.
Mannequin room, yeah. That was when I didn't clean out the office, huh?
Yeah. No, and that's when, Nike was the place where my shenanigans took off. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Like there was a manager there, a good buddy of mine, and he was telling me about how he had a great night going out to the bars, wasn't feeling good, had to go to the bathroom. So me, being who I am, just a light bulb went off, and he had his own key to go in the bathrooms, and we had one in the break room. He went in there. I gave him a few minutes to get comfortable. Grabbed the key from the break room, unlocked the door, shut the light off, and just I was just smacking him in the dark. And from that day, he takes both keys. He does not. He will never leave. He'll never do that again.
Dude. Dude, that's a good prank though.
AP had it coming.
Dude, he always got picked on, man.
Huh?
I said he always got picked on.
But he did to himself.
But he did, yeah.
I mean, I love that about him.
Dude, I just remember
he cracks me up.
The stuff he would say. I remember just chatting with him, and some of the stuff that come out of his mouth is like, dude, like, you really shouldn't be saying that. Like, he would just make himself look silly sometimes.
Alex and I, like, if this is the line, we weren't touching it, but we were hovering it all the time.
Oh gosh.
And Ricky, I was this close to buying one of those wacky inflatable whaling arm guys and putting it in Jason's office. I wanted to do it so bad, but I was like, he would fire me for sure on that one.
Dude,
can you imagine him open his office and there's a
thing amazing,
just flailing around, causing problems.
Dude, yeah, and I worked with Jason for so long. So when I was an athlete, we did stuff like that too. So did I ever tell you about the sandwich punching game?
No.
Okay, so check this out. So there's this game that basically what you do is, like, the goal is to punch somebody's sandwich. Okay? So how this works is you have any sandwich, burger, whatever. We had it all classified on what is considered a sandwich. The thing is if you had a shield on it, which was anything that wasn't part of the burger, it's protected. So you could have a toothpick, a pen, just something random on top of it. Then it's off limits. You can't punch it. But the minute it's unshielded, someone could just walk up and punch your sandwich. So what we did is we made this list of people, because I was thinking through this whole process, like, well, we don't want to punch people who aren't playing, so let's make a list of people who are playing. We'll put it on the board in the break room, and we'll all have sandwich-related names. I think I was Clubber Lane.
There you go.
So I thought that was pretty clever.
There you go.
But we all had names.
I see what you did there.
And then yeah. And then we started this game, and dude, we actually had a blast doing it. But like, there was a few funny moments, and one had to do with Jason. So Jason did this too. So he was a coach at the time, and best part ever. So he's in the break room, and he's just like, dude, no one's gonna touch my everyone's gonna punch my sandwich, and he's just all like egging it on, like, okay. Funny thing is someone's like, hey, can we get an employee purchase? And he's like, yep, we'll be right out there. And then all of a sudden, he left the door open to the office, and he's got sandwiches laying in there. And my buddy's like, dude, should I punch it? I was like, yes. So he goes in there and he just smashes the sandwich. And Jason comes back after his employee purchase in the break room, and everybody's just looking at him, smiling and laughing. And he knew, like, without even looking, like, oh, snap. And he goes in there, and apparently it was just like smashed, like there was mayo and all this random stuff around, like someone really smashed it. And it was so good. And the funny thing is we had a rule that, like, if it was cut up, that's two different sandwiches. And he had two sandwiches on top of each other, both cut up. So this guy got like 4 points for like smashing his sandwich.
That's the thing about Nike. You come up with different games and activities.
You do.
Oh, when I worked in the back of house, when I finally got permission to go back there.
That's where all the shenanigans happen, bro.
Oh, man.
Dude,
we laid down a camera. We all stuck our heads like this and threw boxes of clothes and just waited to see who would hit. Yeah, that's what we did. So you'd be sitting there watching the camera, and you see the box going like this, and then just somebody.
Gosh. Oh man,
Good times.
that was funny. And we used to punch boxes too. That was our thing for a while. We would, I don't know. I think it was probably one of the test things or something. And it was, but what it did is I would punch holes in the boxes, but then I would grab the stuff out and process it.
Right.
What happened is I started teaching people that, like, hey, you think you can punch a hole in the box? Yeah. And then before you know it, it got to the point where people were just punching holes in boxes and leaving it. Like, so I felt bad. So so I was a full timer in the stockroom at the time, and I had another guy that was like, he was like the apparel guy that worked back there with me all the time, and he just got ticked one day. He just came in and like we had like a huge shipment, but everybody was punching the middle and the bottom ones, so everything was like collapsed. And he's like, dude, we got to stop this. And I was just like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I did it so I could process stuff. I didn't expect people to just walk in and start punching holes in boxes and just collapsing everything.
That is the definition of give somebody an inch, they take a mile.
Oh, dude.
The telephone game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
It was funny.
Nuts.
So, yeah, things switched when I became a manager, though.
Oh, yeah. And
I still had fun, but everything got focused, and then I started figuring out, like, well, how can we still have fun, but not, like, do all those shenanigans in the stock room?
Well, the funny part is there was times for new management. Your boy applied, had the conversation. Not ready. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Whatever. At least I tried. And I tried taking stuff more serious. No.
I remember you having a conversation with me, actually. Remember CE, you were talking to me about that.
Mm-mm.
So I think I was telling you the same thing. Like, I was the same way. Like, I was kind of all over the place, and then I started focusing, my fun and channeling it to a little bit better. But, dude, it took me forever, though. Like, because I think I was perceived the same way at that time. It's like, it took me 7 years to become a manager. I think for that is because I started off that stuff, and then when I would switch, I think that was still something that they kind of thought of. I was like, but
first impressions go a long way.
They
That's
do.
for sure.
So it took me going to another store to where it was like fresh start, new me, all good. So yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
So let's see. So what's something you're currently learning about that you'd like to teach us?
Currently learning. Well, I'm learning how to weld.
Mm-hmm.
Finally starting to get more opportunities to do that at work. Trying to get enough work and experience so I can take the welding test and get certified, and then start making more money at work just for welding. So I don't know how I can really teach it, but it's a good skill to pick up because you never know. And going to school and learning from torches to welding, everything.
What's your favorite type of weld?
Oh, favorite type of weld? Maybe a 5G weld. I'm not really sure. I'm not too bad at 2G plated weld, which is just two plates like that, and you're just going in a straight line.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Right,
I mean, that's the one you're going to use
But
the
the
most.
thing is, you're doing pipes and putting pipes together, and it's starting, from the bottom, going all the way over, and then keeping that same kind of rod angle around the pipe, which takes a little bit. Yeah, and to be able to see it and not arc flash yourself, which is striking the stinger on something that's metal, and it's like working with the sun, and you'll see like a blue light for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I only welded when I was junior year of high school. I went to like this Vo-Tech school where where I did collision repair. Why? I don't know, because I thought it would be fun just to learn how to paint things. I didn't realize like most of my job wasn't going to be painting things. I mean, that was part of it, but but it was fun. It was a good experience. Yeah, I learned to weld, learned to use Bondo and lots of random stuff, and did learn how to paint. It's a fun time. I only did it junior year, though, because I realized that all these people were serious about jobs. We're like, we're going to help you find a job. And I was like, well, I don't actually want to do this.
Just trying it out.
I'm just doing it because I thought it would be fun. But everybody else was serious in there. So like, well, I'm not going to come back again. I don't want to take someone's position that's like
actually I've been trying to get in this career. Guy care,
yeah, because like this is me. Like, so I always do weird stuff. So like, I was like, hey, could I paint a guitar in here? He's like, I guess so. It's like, cool. So like that's the stuff I was doing. Like, so I made a custom guitar, and in the middle of class while people were doing collision
repair,
stuff,
and then this guy.
I'm over there in the corner sanding down this guitar that I customized and spray painting it. Yeah, so that was always I found what I like to do within almost everything I did. Yeah, it makes no sense now that I think about it. Like, why did he even let me do that? But it's cool.
He's like, well, hey, this kid's been here this long. Whatever.
Yeah, he did. I think we did some type of, was it a talent show? What did we do? We did something where he had us each kind of share something that we're, like each student do something that they're into, or I can't remember what it was. And most people like, it was like a random fun fact. For me, I brought my guitar and I played songs for people.
Yeah.
Just random stuff. But it's a good time.
Yeah.
But let's see. So what are you doing for fun right now?
For fun. Working out is a good hobby. I like doing it. Trying to figure out what the next step is.
Yeah.
The next move I need to make to progress where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time doing. Like going on walks, relaxing, just trying to, when I got time to, take like a military nap. Or it's a Marine nap, I think. Have you heard of them?
Nope, tell me about it.
So if you sleep, like, say your couch is like this, and this is where the backrest is, like that. You sleep with your butt here, legs over here. And just the way your blood has to flow, a 20-minute nap feels like 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, and it works. I woke up, I felt like I was asleep for a very long time.
Really? I'll put that to the test.
Yeah, and just on the days when you want like a quick nap, it works.
Totally do that. So the next steps, so some of the next steps for you are the security business?
Security, my modeling, and pipe fitting.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. So we talked about pipe fitting and security, but modeling, what got you into that?
Well, the Disney Channel thing was the start.
Yeah.
That was the route to go. Been kind of doing the agencies and then kind of just run me around. So I tried to get my foot in the door here in Minneapolis and started out kind of doing local shows, just trying to build a portfolio.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten some opportunities to do stuff for different businesses. And I also I always pitch like I do security as well because I'm trying to just expand, network. You have a clothing, I can model it. You need security for a fashion show, just trying to network with people. And I got to be in some runway shows, some print modeling. Hopefully, we can get into more in the future, but I'm still just trying to do it solo because I don't know. I'd rather me deal with the finances of things than somebody else.
Yeah. So then, how'd you get into that? Because I've pondered the idea of modeling, but I don't even know where to start.
Well, I mean, there's stuff on Facebook. There's ads everywhere.
So is that just all it is? People looking for people, and you just apply?
There's a way of doing it that way, or you can go the agency route, depending on the agency. And
is it like a talent agency or modeling agency, or?
Yeah, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's ones that are like something talent, something modeling.
So what do they do then? So what's their job? Is their job just to get you the gigs?
So in my experience, like the one I went to out in California was more like school. Like we had to do different types of runways, different choreographed things, acting. I can't think of the name just off the top of the head. Like when you're just acting freely. What's the name of that? Improv. That's the word I'm looking for. So we did a lot of improv and kind of just getting you ready for what could possibly happen. And they were supposed to do headshots and book you things. But I had to go to like a portal and I had to do them myself, which just defeated the whole purpose of me paying to be here. So I got annoyed with that and just tried doing it on my own.
Okay. So it was just finding places.
It's finding the right people, going to different places, finding photographers. But also with security, there's photographers everywhere, so I talk to them.
Got it. Okay, so that's a good networking tool then. Is the security.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Trying to use something to my advantage, or just try to relate to somebody. So.
Cool. I like that. Okay, so now let's see. Well, now is your time to discuss anything you want to, as far as like, where can people find you? Do you need to promote anything for the audience out there? Like if it's any businesses, anything like that. But this is like your, time just to kind of share with them what you want.
Well, if there's any modeling agency, anybody looking for a model, I have a personal page. I have a security page. You can follow me at Big Joe Security or at Joe Lendway or at Long Limbs Lendway. That was a great name given to me by a friend, childhood friend.
Yeah.
So, that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can get my information, my social media and stuff like that. Happy to answer it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll just have you write all those down for me, and then I'll put those in the description whenever this comes out, so people can access it there. Okay. And then one of my favorite questions here. So up to this point in your life, from when you were born, right? So if this was a story or a book, what would this title of this book be called?
That I've been thinking about that. Maybe the Lendway Chronicles.
Lendway Chronicles, okay.
Or The Adventure of Long Limbs. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot to be said. That's all I can say.
Okay, well, whatever we pick, it's going to be the thumbnail title for our video.
Okay.
So
that's a tough one. We'll figure something out.
This is always the tough one for people.
Yeah. Or another childhood nickname was the F.O.A.T.
What?
The F.O.A.T.
Oh, I've seen that. That's one of your names on
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I was actually, it's funny because I didn't even pay attention to it till yesterday, and so I was like, I wonder what that stands for. Okay.
So you know what the GOAT stands for?
Yep.
Greatest of all time.
Uh-huh.
I had friends that called me the fattest of all time. So I was the F.O.A.T.
The what?
The F.O.A.T. Yeah. So every time we would hang out, it'd be like the F.O.A.T. So that might be the title right there, the F.O.A.T.
It's good. People are gonna have so many questions.
Yeah, man. My buddy even got me a license plate for my truck. It said the F.O.A.T.
The F.O.A.T.
So
Okay, so that's what we're going with.
I think that's
the F.O.A.T.
That's probably it.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I dig it. Okay, so the F.O.A.T. It's gonna look so good too because I already showed you the thumbnail. We're gonna have your cool modeling picture and then the F.O.A.T. That's good, man. That's good. It's like an inside joke.
I hope this is the one, Ricky. This is the one that's gonna take the 98%.
Hey, hopefully.
Yep.
Okay, and now last question. So this is the part where the last guest I had on actually yesterday created a question for you. Okay, and then what you're going to get to do, you're going to get to answer it, and then you are going to create a question for the next guest, which actually I will meet tomorrow.
Okay.
So
cool.
So the question this time was actually a pretty simple one, but there's a reason why, and I'll tell you why. So it's what is your favorite color?
Ooh. Who was the one before me? Because I watched some.
Okay, so it hasn't aired yet, so you don't know.
Ooh. Okay. Favorite color. I would say like green, like all the greens, but like the dark, like earthy kind of greens. That makes sense, like a forest green or.
Okay. So apparently it was funny because yesterday we had like super deep conversations, and then for her to give me this question, I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "There's a reason why," and I was like, "Okay, tell me, what's the reason? And apparently, she's been doing some research on what colors can tell someone about themselves, like almost like a personality test based on color. It was kind of interesting. So, green, I wonder, did she? I think that was the example she gave. I don't know. But basically, what I'll do is we'll figure it out. I told her we'll do an episode on colors, so then we can figure out what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, her big thing was just like, what is your favorite color? And apparently, like, yeah, they've done studies and different things to where they've found out that certain people's favorite colors might actually dictate parts of their personality. So
Add it to your statistic.
there we go. We'll see. So what I'll do, I'll chat with her, and then I'll give you your results. How about that? That sounds fun.
I'd love to know. To know.
Yeah, and of course, I was like, well, let's do this right now with me. And she's like, okay, let's do it. What's your favorite color? I was like, black. She's like, well, that's one I don't know. I was like, well, then that sucks. You got to tell me.
Yeah.
You got to tell me.
You had to call me and tell me.
So, okay. So, yeah, I can imagine. Black doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. I'm curious about that too.
I can see it going like mysterious.
That's what I was thinking.
To something that's not at all what we think. I don't know.
Could be. Okay, cool. So now what would be your question for the next guest?
Let's see. What is your why? Like, what is your reason?
It's funny. It's like my favorite question of all time.
Yeah.
I always ask everybody, like, well, why? I think it's important. It's an important question.
I mean, it's the answer to what you're doing. Like,
exactly. It's like the intention. Like, what's the intention of? Yeah. And I don't think people ask the why enough. I think why is what gives us good understanding of. I don't know. I think it helps us understand people more if we ask why, but also
because
like
I see where you think, you'll see where I think.
Yeah.
It's a whole.
Exactly. I think that's a huge tool for self-awareness too. I found out that like that was one of my favorites. So I did this. It's funny. It was actually this Nike self-reflection tool, but it's funny because it was the first time I did a reflection tool where they were using this thing of like how it works basically is you have like your purpose. It's how do you discover your purpose? Like, what do you like my purpose is, and you'd say the title of it, what you think it is now. And then what you do is you'd ask yourself why 5 times. And what happens is the more you ask why, the deeper you get, until eventually you'll hit it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, okay, so that's the intention behind it. And then you get to rewrite, okay, so the purpose is, and then you realize it's more descriptive. It's actually more true on what it is. So it's something you can ask yourself too.
What's your reason?
My why?
Yeah.
My why? For doing what?
Doing you.
For being me?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say my why is I really enjoy helping people and doing creative things. So it's like the creative aspect, I think, is I mean, I'd say that's more selfish. That's more of my thing is like I like to do things different than everybody else. I like to create things that haven't been created before. There's just something that's really rewarding to me about about that. And I think that's why I write music, I play instruments, I do artwork, like I just all different random stuff. And like, it's just part of like bringing something here that wasn't there before. And that's really rewarding to me. But then also the helping people aspects. I like helping people, but like in a meaningful way. So like stuff like this, like podcasts, like thinking about how can we talk deep about certain things, share good topics that maybe someone out there can hear and be like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm not alone in this. Like, I resonate with that, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say it's kind of twofold in that regard. So I'd say that's my why.
Because everybody has that feeling like they're alone until they hear something that's, oh, no way. I've done that. Or and it could be, man, I've never thought about building something this way. It could be handling a certain situation.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had all that got revealed to me during my divorce. So when I went through my divorce, I hit like a low where I was like, like, I don't know what to do. Like I didn't know what my purpose was, even though I was still working at Nike and all that stuff. Like I didn't know what my purpose was, kind of world got flipped upside down, and it started making me start to research and learn a lot about things. And I just kind of came across a book that I was reading at the time. And it was like, they talked about that, and that's why I started this podcast. They talked about like the problem is we see, 98% of everything is normal, right? But what we see on social media or news is we see a constant 2% all the time, right? Whether it be exceptional or terrible. What happens is it's actually very isolating because we weren't meant to see that stuff all the time, or only see 2% of someone's life, but that's what happens. So we tend to feel, especially when we're going through tough times, like feel like you're the only one going through it, right? I feel this way. Nobody else is this way. Why does everybody have this? And this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And then it took me a while to realize, like, as I was reading that book, they really emphasize that, like, it's actually perfect to be normal. Like, actually, most of us are normal in most things that we do, right? Like, we all have interesting things about us, but there's a normality that actually helps bring us peace. So that's what inspired me to, like, okay, well, I needed that. And I feel like there's a lot of other people that need that, because right now everything's superficial. And it's it's conversations like this that I think people are going to be like, yeah, like you're going through that too. Like that's awesome. That's amazing. That makes me feel good. So
that's why, like, kind of my why is to be in somebody's testimonial, if that makes sense. Like, be the reason why they kept doing what they wanted to do or didn't give up, kind of thing. Because that's why I'm doing modeling, pipe fitting, secure. Yeah. I'm just throwing stuff at a wall. Something's going to stick. I don't know what. It's going to be something.
Dude, it sounds the same. I'm the same. Like, I've done so many just random stuff, and it's all for that reason of like trying to figure out what sticks. And I think what's given me the most passion so far, as like I think this is it. Like, because I've never felt that way. I don't know if you felt that way, but in everything I've done, like I've never really felt like there was anything that was ever like this is my purpose necessarily until this. And it's funny, it's only been a few months, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, I feel like I found it.
I'm at that stage where it's like, I'm doing all these things. I don't know what's my thing. Like, I don't know. I thought basketball was my thing. Didn't happen. That's fine. Being a police officer, that wasn't a thing. Pipe fitter, cool. Security, sick. Modeling, all right, here we go. I don't know. And people ask me what my next step is. I have nobody knows.
That's been my answer always. Even at Nike, like even doing the last job I was doing, like I'm the person that helps develop people and stuff, and that's what I would do. And then it's funny because people ask me, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. I don't know.
That's why I said in the beginning, I'm trying to make it so I can disappear. I don't know what that is. If that's me, a model on the weekends and pipe fitting during the weekday, cool. If secure, whatever. I just want to make sure I'm good, my family's cool, and I can just enjoy life, enjoy the little things. Yeah. That's all we really got.
Exactly. And it's funny, I heard somewhere, and I think this is really, really fitting. I thought about it yesterday, actually, is like, if you haven't figured out what you want to do yet, or have very purposes, because you haven't done enough yet.
Right.
So don't feel bad. Just keep trying new things, keep doing something until you feel that, because it's normal for us to feel like, I don't really know what I want to do, or I don't feel like anything's resonating. Well, you just haven't done enough stuff yet. Just keep going, and eventually it'll stick. And it just, I don't know. It really resonated with me. Like, oh, okay, cool. So.
I get what you're saying. I saw something that was like, you can't be mad about the dream you can't have because you didn't put the work in to achieve that. Like there's things you think about, like, oh, I want to be a rock star. I haven't even picked up a guitar yet, so I have just you need to just pick up something. That's why with modeling, I'm really not there for the fame, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There's girls getting ready, doing everything. Where are my clothes at? What's the walk? Cool. I walk, I go home, peace. That's it. I'm just trying to find that one person to be seen by, and then hopefully we can go from there. But till then, it's just kind of got to do everything till something happens,
Yeah, for sure. So that's something I was going to say, and I drew a blank. It's not coming back, I don't think. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. But cool. So now what's your, oh wait, you already gave your question, right?
Yep.
Your question was the why. Why, right? I'm excited because I get to share that with someone and get to hear what they say tomorrow.
Yeah, I read it and I was like, oh, that's kind of sick. I've never seen that. Like that's sick.
What is?
On a podcast, that question, just to ask somebody for somebody that you have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because who knows who gets that question? Maybe
Mhm.
somebody that really has not thought about that, and they might think, "Oh, that's why I do it."
Exactly. Yeah, it's fun, and then it kind of puts it in. It kind of puts the ball in your court for a little bit too. So you get to like, I've
Yeah,
always wanted to know this about someone, and then before you know, you get to watch that episode, and you get to see how they react to that question you gave.
and also it makes you like look forward to the next episode.
Mhm.
I see what you did there, Ricky. I see what you did there. Smart man, smart man.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm
You got
trying.
me hooked. I mean, I watched a couple on the way here. I was like,
Did you?
oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might drive in. I was one your dad.
Yeah. We see the. I think it was like episode 3 or something like that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think I watched that one.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. He's a machine powerlifting dude.
yeah. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, out of all the episodes, I'm glad this is the one I picked. 'Cause I was just hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is cool too. Is like it's fun having all these people in there because I've met them all. That's how I'm starting. Is just with people I've known, and like everybody's stories are all so different, which is kind of funny. So yeah, you got like powerlifting and stuff, and then you got people that do taxidermy. You have people that do like it's just all random stuff, but it's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool
just like we were talking about, different walks of life.
Yeah.
You got people that are scared of the sun. You got people that lift heavy weights. Just,
exactly.
it's interesting what people do.
Exactly, and then figuring out like you know, I guess the why, right? So why they do what they do, like why they got into that, I think is always good. And then I think probably my favorite thing is just hearing what people are going through, struggles potentially that they've went through, that they've made it through. Because I think that's the thing is I think when people like, I'm hoping that like, because I think everybody has struggles, but I think it's cool to be able to tune in and be like, oh, okay, cool, like I get that. Because
we only get to see so much.
Yeah.
You just see skin, bone, a person.
Mhm.
I mean, you can scratch at that surface, and then if you dive, into it,
Mhm.
the person can amaze you.
Exactly.
Or just they went through something that, how the hell do you do that?
Exactly.
And they're just here having coffee.
Dude, I'm telling you. So stay tuned to the gal before this. So her name's Brittany. So listen to her podcast when it comes out. So it won't be next Friday, but the Friday after. Her story's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah, she shared it with me yesterday, and I'm just like I knew some of it, and that's one reason why like I wanted her on because I was like I remember this, but like for her to go in detail of what she went through, I was like, dude, this is crazy. So
Yeah, and sometimes people are 20 and they've been through that much.
exactly.
I had a roommate when I lived out in California. He was in his 50s, like late 50s, because downtown San Jose, California, 5 of us in a house. You don't know who you're gonna live with.
Mhm.
That guy told me, like, for somebody being 25 years old, like, how do you know and been through so much? I was like, I don't know. Stuff happens to me, and I just kind of roll with it. Like, I catch myself in a situation, just looking around, like, why am I here? Or I'll be driving, like, why did that just happen? And me being me, I don't know if I just attract it. Just weird things happen, man.
Hey, it's possible.
Yeah.
I've done tons of research and law of attraction and random stuff like that, and that stuff fascinates me. I don't know if you've dug into it at all, but it's interesting. I'll put it that way.
And
it's
I haven't dove into it, but just the encounters I have, I'm like, something's related to it because the things you see during security, clubs, in the street. Like I had a guy say he loved my shirt. My shirt says the Little Pecker Club, and on the back it says Little Gents Making Dents. I've worn it a couple places, got a lot of compliments. I had a guy come up to me and said, "It's good to see a fellow member of the club." So I got it on ironcombat.com. Okay. They have great shirts.
Do they?
Funny shirts.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that has a little donut right here, and on the back it says "Eat more donuts, so it's harder to kidnap." So, yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
I would say that would be maybe a talent of mine or something I like to do. I find cool shirts. I'm a big T-shirt guy.
Are you?
Yeah. Like I had one where it was like Toy Story. It was Woody, but with his shocked look on his face, and it was just on the center of the T-shirt. It was a solid gym pump cover up for a while, and then it faded out, and I had to find something else. So
That's funny. I'm not a t-shirt guy. I'm a tank top guy. Unless I'm doing something like this, then I like to dress nice. But I thought about making t-shirts at one point. I made a whole list of different topics, of slogans.
There you go.
Because I wanted them to be. I was feeling like I needed connection one day, and I was like, I need to make a shirt that just talk like, if you need a hug, ask, or just something random like that. Because I was also thinking too that like not enough people, like everybody needs hugs. They need some type of connection, but nobody wants to ask for it.
Right.
And everybody just feels like they don't like each other. I was like, how good would it be like if we just were like very open about like, hey, you know what? Do you need a hug? Let me give you a hug. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. So I thought about doing t-shirts kind of more down that realm of like, just like, how can we do like little sayings that could like entertain connection between people?
Right.
I don't know.
Ask me my why. There you go. Put it on the back of a t-shirt.
Ask me my why. There you go. Conversation starter t-shirts. That'd be good. Be good. Maybe I'll go down that route in a little bit. Maybe I'll have like 98% podcast tees that have cool sayings like that. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool to have it in the front and then the question on the back.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, that could definitely be something.
Could be. Those are the ideas I have too. Random stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So many. Like the stuff I think about in the shower, just everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
I should be writing it down. That's for sure.
Should be. Yeah. For sure. Well, anything else you want to share with the people out there?
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working at it. Don't give up. And like I said before, keep throwing stuff at a wall and something's going to stick. So find your way. That's a quote from Joe Lendway. There you go. Find a way, Joe Lendway.
There you go. You say find your way?
Find your way.
Joe Lendway. And that might be a good thumbnail title too, Find Your Way.
In college basketball, like if there was a turnover or something, they'd be like, which way? Lendway, and then point to where the ball went. Having all that.
Dude, well, that sucks.
Yeah. So every time it happened, they would say it. I'm like, but it was cool.
I like that. That's funny. Well, hey Joe, I'm glad we could meet up and do this.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you on. Like I said, you're one of the first people I think I reached out to when I said I was going to start the podcast, because it's funny how like you meet people and people stick in your life somehow, even if you really didn't connect with them that much.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
So like it's funny because like what I thought about is I just remember like walking back by the break room and hearing you talk about like just interesting stories and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, this guy would be awesome just to chat with and have on the podcast. And I think we stayed in touch a little bit, but not a ton. But yeah, you're just someone I thought about having on here. So it's.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm that person. Like I have friends. I have some guys I talk to frequently, but most of the time I know I'm still cool with people, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can hit me up. I'll say what's up. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's just like you said, it's weird how things work.
Yeah,
I never thought I was getting a text from you about a podcast.
About a podcast? Yeah, how did that happen? Anyways, did I just reach out? What happened?
Well, at first we commented on each other's fitness journey of some point, and then asked each other how we've been.
That's right.
And then a little bit after that, I think you started a podcast, and then.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I saw you doing some of your workout videos, I think.
Yeah.
I think I remember messaging and something, and then we just kind of chatted a little bit. So it's fun how that works.
Yeah.
Random stuff. You never know. You never know what's going to open up.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just keep doing what you got to do and trying things, because you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Me working out changed my life in a good way.
Dude, I was talking to someone about this the other day too. I think it was on the podcast. Is like, it's interesting how everybody you talk to, right? You talk about these influencers and people, and they talk about like, this is how I got to here. And they give you this whole spiel about how they got from, A to B, when actually, when you think about it, there's so much that we can't plan for. And it's most of those experiences. Like, but the thing is we don't think about that. Like when it happens, after it happens, then we draw the line. But during it, think about it. Like there's so many times where you don't know what's going on. And then one conversation, someone just happens to walk by you or some type of instance, that is actually what changed
Right.
the trajectory. It wasn't like I did X, Y, and Z. It's just those random happenstances. And I think
Right.
that's a fun thing to think about is like, do what you need to do, keep doing it, and you never know what'll open up. Because the thing is, if you're not equipped and ready to go, then whatever happens will never happen, right? I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what I was going to go back to that I forgot about is like, you mentioned you said if you wanted to be a guitar player or whatever, but you didn't practice or in a rock band or something,
Everyone
right?
starts from ground zero. Like
Yep.
to be good at basketball, I was not gifted like that
Yeah.
at all. I had to start dribbling between my legs, trying to figure out how to use my left hand, just everything.
Yeah. It takes time. And that's what's funny is so many people say like, oh, that person's talented. Don't get me wrong, we all start in different spaces, but
Right.
there's a ton of work that goes into anything you do, right?
Right.
Like that's like when people say like, yeah, I'm not musically inclined. I'm like, well, I wasn't either. It
Yeah.
took me 2 years of playing straight before I could play anything any good.
Right.
Are you going to play for 2 years before you're not? Well, I don't know. Well, okay, then maybe you don't want to do it. And I think that's a big thing too, is we tend to see that too, is like, I want to be where that person is. But we don't think about, well, what did that person do to get there? And is that what we want? Do we
Right.
want to have
Exactly.
that pain and that rejection in order to get there? And sometimes it's no. And if it's no, then maybe that isn't actually what we want to do.
Right.
And,
I found that road when I trained for Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu.
Uh-huh.
Man, I thought, I got this. I did pretty well, but I got choked a couple times. But just the fact that going there, getting beat like that, it's just, why did that happen? What can I do to fix it next time? Like, I don't want to be in that position anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm so glad I joined martial arts late, but at the same time, it's taught me a lot. Like, everyone starts at ground zero. Like, I was in the beginner class.
Yeah.
Barely starting out. 3 weeks in, one of the best guys at the gym walked over on our side, like, where's the big guy? And I rolled with him for, I don't know, maybe 6-8 minutes. He put me in a couple triangles, arm bars, and I'm gassed. And he's sitting there and just laying back. He's like, "You ready?" And just right into it. Man. And he's an accountant.
Dude, that's what's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guy that you do not expect. But that guy, if you're close to him and he has a hold of you, man.
Dude, it's funny. See, I didn't know you did that. So I actually did jiu-jitsu and boxing, kickboxing for a while.
Yeah.
That was actually back in the Branson days. So it's been a while, but I still remember everything. I want to get back into it. It's been something that I've thought about. But jiu-jitsu was fun. But that's the funny thing about like any type of combat sport is I've always had a knack for it. Like I've always had a good starting point.
Right.
So like when I got into jiu-jitsu, I was just watching a lot of MMA at the time. So I was watching what they were doing and just mimicking it with people at the gym until I joined a jiu-jitsu school, which is funny because when I joined it, I found out that like there were certain, like I knew the moves, but there were some of the moves I had to tweak a little bit. Like some of them were like, oh, your hand placement's a little different. Those are stuff you don't see when you watch MMA.
Right. Or you don't know what to look for.
Yeah. So, but funny thing is like, it's funny. It was like day 1 or 2 and I rolled with their best student and I ended up getting submitted on a silly thing, which I still am silly about, but we rolled for like 15 minutes and I had him in a pretty crazy position, like just as a white belt. And it was pretty cool to see, but he got me. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I hate it. So I had his back. So kind of messing with the rear naked choke.
Right.
So I crossed my legs.
To like a body. Yeah.
So this is the thing. So I didn't realize that like it's okay to do a body lock or it's okay to keep him open. But what I did is I crossed him and he knew that. And that was something that I didn't know as being inexperienced. What he did is he took his leg and he just wrapped around this leg that I had and started pulling it under. And like, I tried to get as much as I could. And before I had to tap and I was like, that's so dumb. Like I was so upset.
But that's ankle lock. Yeah.
But that's a good example of like, that's like a rookie mistake like that. Like I'll never do that again. I'll never cross my ankles like that. But that was an example. But like, I loved it. And I think everyone should do martial arts at least sometime in their life. I think it's important.
Absolutely.
I think it teaches discipline. I think it also can help humble us a lot too.
Very.
Because it's funny, they say this, they say, if you want to help, like, if you want people not to bully, get them into martial arts. And that seems counterproductive.
Right. But
they're like, but it actually works because what happens is because usually bullies are bullies because they're insecure about something, right? Maybe they're getting hurt at home or whatever, so they're taking it on someone else. But they go to a school and they start getting thrown around a lot, they get humbled a lot, and they start understanding discipline and all this other stuff. And they said that's one of the best things you can do for bullies, which is interesting. Wow. I didn't do leg locks. That's one thing I never really trained much. I learned like a heel hook for fun, but it was more just to get people out of position. I didn't train leg locks that much. But some schools, I have a buddy in Iowa, like he trains nonstop all the time. Like I'm sure he's phenomenal, but like he's like their gym works on like leg locks all the time. And he's like, I know leg locks that can get anybody submitted like almost right away. And I'm like, and he's like, that's why a lot of jiu-jitsu schools don't like leg locks, because it's like, I guess they're kind of easy to get sometimes.
Well, there's that, and also easier to get hurt if you don't know what to do. Like some people might have your leg locked up, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna roll this way. You know, it's just that's why they kind of wait till you maybe purple belt or blue belt just to understand. But some places, like you said, are gung ho right away. So it's depends on where you go.
It's weird. It does. Yeah, maybe we need to do that sometime. Maybe we need to go roll.
I'd be down.
It'd be fun because I haven't done that in a while. It'd be fun to do some jiu-jitsu again.
I did one tournament one time. It was like
Did you?
Yeah, it was a local one. And that's the other thing when we were talking about martial arts is like the doing it part. I had no idea what I was doing. I just went there. I signed up. I was like, whatever, I'm going to try it. Yeah. And then it stuck. It was fun. I had to back off because I had to go to school. I didn't really have time. And for the price I was paying, it wasn't worth it for going one day. But I learned a lot. And it changed my life, man. It's so fun.
It was cool.
And the guy I rolled with, he was the other big guy, and he was maybe 260. I'm 315 at the time, probably. So it's like two bears wrestling over a salmon. And I'm just a white belt, and that guy's been there for a couple years. It was my first tournament. Of course, our names get called. Everybody's watching us. And then how the tournament went was it's a 10-minute round. If no one gets submitted, it goes into overtime. So overtime was like a timer. As soon as you start, if he submits in 30 seconds, like that's when the timer stops. Or if he gets out, then they stop the timer. And then it'll be your turn, and you either have to get out or submit in less time than that.
Interesting. See, I've never done a tournament. So I've seen them do that before, and I was always wondering. So they start them in different positions.
So you start, when you get into overtime, you start with the back position.
I've seen people do that, yeah.
And you get somewhat position, and then they're able to get two hands, I think. Mm-hmm. And then you go with the timer from there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but just imagine lasting 10-minute rounds, and then you have to do that right after. And if you're that first guy, you're gassed. I mean, either guy's gassed. Yeah. And it comes down to whoever gets out faster or whoever submits faster.
Yeah. Do they do weight classes?
Yeah. Okay. So they did weight classes, and then they did belt levels.
Got it.
So the guy I was going with, like I said, he was in there for a couple of years. He submitted me like 8 minutes in. But we were going at it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's just a bunch of big guys, and there's like smaller weight classes by us. So if we go down, they might be right next to where we're at. But afterwards, like I just needed to walk away because my adrenaline was going. It was nuts. I know I lost, but it was nuts.
Yeah.
Just I couldn't. The adrenaline was going crazy. I wish I could have gone again, but it was like one elimination, you're done. But it made me want to like keep going and hopefully compete somewhere else too.
Yeah. You still do it?
I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. It's been like a decade, and I'm like, I still remember everything up here. It's like I need to keep doing it.
And it just felt good to be moving around and find a place where like guys can actually be guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, to be honest with you, if we're being completely honest, there's some people I walk by and, just want to see what they would do. But you can't do that in the street. You can't do that without repercussions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's why like Muay Thai is like you get to mess with somebody. Like you could hit them with some very hard right overhands, and then you fake one body shot. Just like the little mechanics where, man, this guy's kicked me 4 times in my right leg. Like maybe I should move it. But as soon as you move it, that's what they wanted, and then you get hit with like a right hook or something.
Dang.
It's just, I love that side of the martial arts. It's just being able to mess with somebody or just see how they react and put them in a certain situation. As long as you're controlling the situation, but also vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, it's just fun. I just remember, I feel like it's ingrained in us too, as guys, I feel like, or at least most of us, right?
Right.
I remember, I was sharing this last podcast, is I just remember being a kid and like, that was like my favorite thing was just like, I was probably like 5, 6, 7, and I just go to like random places like, you know, some play area or something, and I just meet kids like, hey, do you want to wrestle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just become best
Yeah.
friends. We just wrestle and
Right.
you know,
There's a WWE everywhere we went.
yeah, until someone got hurt. But you know, it was like, sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
But the thing is, there's no place like that for grown adults, but jiu-jitsu and martial arts.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right, because
I think it's important.
I feel like people lose that child aspect of it.
Mhm.
I mean, we all have to grow up at one point, but at the same time, you need to enjoy the little things.
Yeah,
Like if it's a good place to, if not to let out anger, but also a one way to release some stress.
yeah, exactly. And it's funny because like, I don't know. I've always had this thought too. Is I think we always think growing up, we think that we're kids, and then one day we hit this level and become adults. And I think you know as well as I know, like you're never really an adult. We just kind of get older, we get a little wiser, maybe a little more responsible. But I mean, I think we need to keep our youthfulness. I think that's what keeps us young. I think that's what keeps us having fun and enjoying life. And
right.
Yeah, to your point, like I've seen, like I'm always doing stuff that I enjoy doing, but I see so many people that are just like, you can tell they don't like what they do. They're like maybe at a job they don't enjoy. They're not doing anything fun. They're just going out and drinking, and that's their form of fun. And it's like,
yeah,
man, what do you want to do? And most of the people don't even know. They're just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we need to. I don't think we need to. We shouldn't lose that, right? That childhood kind of, that wonder, that curiosity. I think that's important.
Because what kills me is when people complain about things like their certain situation, which everybody has something going on.
Yep.
But if you keep complaining about it and doing nothing about it, you can't expect something just to change like that.
Exactly.
So it's just, no, it's a constant cycle that you keep yourself in. Agreed. That's why with like, you know, something traumatic that happens in your life, I'm not a big believer on like you constantly like reiterate that, because at the end of the day, you're still bringing it up. You're thinking about it. It's never gonna cure or fix itself. That's why when I was in like dark situations, it's just, this is like a roller coaster. We're just gonna go through it. There's really nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can complain about it, which is not gonna fix anything. It's gonna make me probably more miserable and sad and just pissed. So, gotta find some outlet of some kind.
Agreed. No, I totally agree. I think in those situations, right, I think I've found acceptance like the key to everything. It's crazy. Right. We don't, then when we're in those types of moods where we're feeling low or, you know, things aren't going our way, we tend to, you know, the last thing we want to do is accept the situation we're in. But I think that's the key, is like, there's time to like accept like, hey, you know what, this sucks. It does, right?
Right.
But to dwell on it doesn't do you any good or doesn't do anybody any good, right? And if it's in your control, as long as it's nothing that's maybe subconscious that's getting in the way or whatever, like if you can make a decision, do it. And the thing is too, is it's not easy, but it's simple. I think most people know what they need to do.
Yeah,
like just take some action and do something. Yeah, is it easy? No. But it's usually pretty simple. It's just changing habits, changing things differently. Because if we're doing the same things every day, it's going to lead to the same results every single day.
Unless we shift insanity. Right,
exactly. There. Unless we shift something around, right? Which means we have to wake up differently. We have to do things differently. We have to do things, you know, and then, right, that'll start to shift where we are.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And that's kind of with the fitness journey that I started. I didn't want to go. But at the same time, I was mad about who I was and like how I looked. It was just, I don't know what I looked like. I didn't even have like a body type. It was just, there's Joe. Cool. And it's just, you know, I could sit there until I'm blue in the face and complain about it. But until I like took myself and drove to the gym and just started. And you can start for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. But just the constant going, even when I don't want to, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm here for a wedding on vacation. I went this morning. I might go later. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Once you find your little getaway or whatever you want to call it, just stick with that, and hopefully good things come out of going to the gym and changing my life. So we'll see.
Dude, gym is like solution for everything. I think I've said that almost every podcast lately. Is I feel like any issues you have, first step should just be going to the gym.
Right, and I get people don't want to be jacked, and it does not happen like that.
Doesn't take, yeah, exactly.
It does not. You can. I promise you, you can go to the gym for your first time workout. You'll have a little muscle shown, but it's not going to be like you took steroids. It's not, it doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
And I feel like a lot of people deter from the gym because they don't want the gym bro look or whatever. But at the same time, like you have to put in a lot of work to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even going there on a treadmill just to walk, or
yeah,
you don't need to just power lift and eagle lift.
exactly.
There's other things you can do.
Exactly.
There's guys in there that practice air karate.
Yeah.
Old people get massages by younger people, which is I think is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys at the gym I used to go to paid trainers $70 for like the massage gun.
It seems interesting.
I can do it at home myself.
Yeah.
I can have my girlfriend do it for me at home.
Yeah.
Not just some trainer that's just massaging an old guy for $70.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I got some questions on that, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, I think people just need to get active is all. Yeah, it can be walking the track. It doesn't have to be working out.
It's just something to get you out of your normal routine.
Yeah, and I think some of those people know deep down. I think a lot of that's just excuses. I think to like, oh, I don't want to look like this. I don't want to do this. And I think it's just ways for them to kind of maneuver out of not taking the action that they know they need to take. Right? So, Joe, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
It was nice having you on here, and yeah, like I said, it's been fun to kind of hear from you, and I'm sure we'll do it again.
All right, looking forward to it.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Okay, appreciate it.